I'm going to show you how you can have an AI plan your meals that perfectly hit your macro and calorie targets. We'll walk through how to connect Claude Desktop to a nutrition database for AI-powered meal planning. This does not require any coding knowledge. By the end of this video, you'll have Claude connected to real nutrition data. First, it suggests a couple of ideas for lunch and dinner. After you choose, it will search the nutrition database over and over and over again until it finds the perfect combination of ingredients to put in each meal. Finally, it will create this document that has your shopping list, as well as instructions on how to cook each meal, and finally, the macro and calorie totals. First, let's talk about what an MCP server is. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's a way to connect AI models to external data sources. So in this video, we'll be creating an MCP server that lets Claude use the USDA Nutrition API. Without this, if you were to ask Claude or ChatGPT to make a meal plan for you, it would just guess all the calories and macros, but when it has a nutrition tool at its disposal, it can be a lot more precise. So you don't need to write any code for this, but you do need to download the code that I wrote to use. So if you're familiar with Git, just clone the repo, you know what to do. If not, let's do the easy way, which will download the zip file. And then here in our downloads folder, we'll unpack it. And I'm gonna move it to a less temporary folder than downloads, which is, for me, demo. All right, next we need to run the installation script. So we will right click on our folder. Under services, we'll do a new terminal at folder. And now let's copy the installation script. So it's right here. And you can just paste in the whole thing and press enter. All right, everything's installed. So next we'll need a USDA API key, so Claude will be able to use the nutrition API. So we can sign up for one for free. You just put in this information and they will email you your key. So next we need to get our configuration to tell Claude where our MCP server is. So we'll copy this, we'll run it in our terminal. And so here we have what we need to paste in. And it even gives you the file with our Claude desktop config. So I'm copying that, going over to Finder. Let's click Go, and then go to Folder. And you can paste that whole thing in, and it'll bring you right there. So now I'll open with, whatever text editor you want. And now we can paste in our configuration. And so this has, our local path. And don't forget to put in your USDA API key that they emailed you here. And then do Command S to save. Once your configuration is saved, we'll need to restart Claude Desktop. All right, now that we've reopened Claude, we'll go to the connectors, manage connectors, and we can see that our nutrition MCP server is connected with no errors. All right, in order to keep this organized, let's create a new project. So we'll call it Meal Planner. We don't need a description. And here we can specify the project instructions. So let's go over back to our README, and towards the bottom you can find the system prompt here. So this is going to tell Claude what to do for each chat within this project. So I'll click the copy raw file button and then paste it in here. So up at the top we have this user input section. Edit these to your liking. I do my meal prep 4 days at a time, so I put 4 here. I put in some dietary restrictions and my target calories and target protein, other macros I don't care as much about. I also put in the meals that I'm going to eat every day. So my breakfast and some snacks are not going to change. So I basically told Claude to factor those macros in when it creates my lunch and dinner. So let's save. And now let's test it out. Because it already has all the instructions in the project, I'm just going to say go. Okay, we've got some options here. Let's say tofu for lunch and curry for dinner. All right, and now it's going to go off and keep searching the nutrition database. So it's going to ask for a permission to see if it can call this tool. We just created the tool, so I'm going to put allow always. All right, and now it is calling the nutrition API, so we can see that it's searching for firm tofu. It's getting back a bunch of different options for different types of tofu. It chose one, grabbed its ID, and then it used another tool to get its actual calories and nutrition data. So it does that a ton of different times, and it pretty much piece by piece creates your meal. All right, it's finished. We've got a detailed shopping list, step-by-step instructions on how to cook my crispy tofu stir-fry lunch and coconut chickpea curry dinner. And we've got all of our macros. And that's it. Now you have an AI nutritionist that can look up any food's exact macros, plan meals to hit precise targets, and even generate shopping lists and recipes. All the links are in the description. Thanks so much and have a great day.